What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Guarani Vision, the first ever podcast dedicated to Paraguayan football in English. As always, I'm Roberto Rojas, and joining me, my co-host Federico Perez. And again, we have another preview episode as we preview the World Cup for Paraguay, as obviously it starts officially a week at the time of recording. The first game is against the United States over there in SoFi in Inglewood, California. And what better way to talk about the United States and, of course, their expectations for this game and also for the entire World Cup is Megan Swanick, freelance sports journalist focusing on American soccer. And, Megan, it's good to have you here. It's good to have you talk about this big game because it is obviously a big game for both countries. One, for our sake of it being the first game for Paraguay at a World Cup in 16 years. It's a whole generation of people who have not seen Paraguay at the World Cup. But also, it's a big game for the Americans. Their first game at a World Cup that they're hosting since 1994. It's been 32 years. Certainly it's a big event for everyone. The fact that for both teams they kick it off right there. It's also funny that it's between my two countries that I have connections for, but that's a whole different story. But yeah, firstly, I gotta ask you, Megan, like, what is your connection to, obviously you are from Pennsylvania, obviously there is that sort of connection, but just American soccer, what made you, I guess, fall in love with the sport and eventually to work in it as well?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think my first entry point into the sport in general was just growing up playing. It is one of the main sports that I grew up with. I think that my first entry point into falling in love with the World Cup specifically and the national teams beyond just playing as a kid probably started with the women's team, who are more successful than the men's team in the United States. I remember I have like childhood memories of watching their early World Cup victories, and my love for the men's national team came a bit later, but did arrive. And I would say also that I've spent a lot of my life. I've been fortunate to travel a lot, in large part because I worked in the travel industry in international education for a while. And living abroad and traveling around really grew my love for the sport from an international perspective and kind of fell in love with the way that everybody watches it.
Yeah, the ones that had like me and Roberto that had the opportunity to see football outside of the US, we know that football is, or soccer, like you guys like to call it, is much bigger outside of the US than it is actually in there. Hopefully the World Cup can spark that up. It's going to be interesting to see that also, right? The fan side of it. And I wanted to ask you about that. Are the fans in love with this team? How have they been feeling lately, especially with the new coach, Pochettino coming in? Every time I see Pochettino or I read an article about him, it's never good stuff, Megan. So I got to ask you, are they feeling good about this team heading into this group stage?
I would put it into different categories. I think that people who are football soccer enthusiasts and are really tuned into the team and have been tracking them for years. You get people who are really bought into the Pochettino project or what this team is doing. But I think that a lot of the diehards have a lot of questions heading into the tournament. So there's hope, but there's a lot of reservation. There's a lot of reasons for concern, whether that's injuries or recent windows against top teams. I will say, though, that what's going to be really interesting, like you said, is all of the non-soccer watching public in the United States who I think do really get behind national teams in the Olympics or in major events. So it'll be interesting to see how they approach this team. And I think they want to be excited. I was staying with a friend recently in North Carolina, and she's a big sports fan. This isn't one of her main ones, but she's been watching the documentary on HBO and asking me all these questions. And I think Pochettino is a big name, and people are excited that we have this guy who coached in the Premier League and has these accolades coming with him. So I would say that it depends. I think there's questions from the soccer watching public, and the non-soccer watching public wants to be excited and could be, depending how things go next week.
Well, certainly it's a really big one, to really focus on this game as a whole. And I guess, I do have to ask you, like, both of us had the fortune of meeting and obviously being at that game that Paraguay and the US played. I think that was always the big thing that when the draw was announced, that it happened so recent. Also for the U.S. taking on Australia because they did play in a recent friendly before that draw as well. So there is that sort of familiarity between both the U.S. and their rivals. But I'm focusing on Paraguay in this case. But what are one of those things that I guess stood out to you more than the fight? Because that was, I think, the big talking point of that. I feel like what we saw from that game, and of course the U.S. did win it. That it was a very feisty affair. It was very much one of those games that was going to be gritty. And I think we're going to see that next Friday as well. I think that's going to be something that it's going to be talked about from both teams. That is going to be competitive because obviously it's the first game. None of them want to go into this game losing, making a bad first impression. But I do want to ask you specifically about what you saw over there in Chester, and also just analyzing how Americans feel about Paraguay, especially it being the first game.
I think there's a lot of respect, warranted respect for South American teams and the way that they play. So I think a lot of fans take that very seriously. For Paraguay specifically, in that game, as you touched on, I think that they're a really difficult to play team. I think that they were really strong defensively and showed a challenge in that friendly. And I imagine that both of those things will only escalate next week in an actual World Cup match. And it's a bit of a double-edged sword because while the US has played Paraguay and Australia recently, and Turkey, because they played them last June. So there's a little bit of familiarity going in the direction of the World Cup group stage opponents, but that also happens in reverse. Now Paraguay has experience playing the US, so it'll be interesting to see who really benefits from that. I think that Paraguay game was interesting. The goals came from, I think, Gio Reyna and Follon Balogun. And so I think one of the big challenges will be whether the US can break down Paraguay's strong defensive setup with those types of players, specifically those two or other ones who are coming into the tournament in form and can really break through a team like Paraguay.
Is this team gonna need the structure of a team to pull through a game like Paraguay, or they're just gonna need a star to shine in this game? What do you think, Megan? Because they got a couple of those, right? I'm hearing a lot about Balogun from colleagues. I'm hearing a lot about Pulisic right now trying to carry this team in offense. Also about other young stars trying to shine in this team. Who do you think can make the difference in an important game like this one? Is this the game opener? This game has a lot of nervous around it. Also, what do you think?
Well, I think it's incredible that Pulisic broke his dry spell and scored a goal and got an assist against Senegal. You could see the weight coming off of his shoulders when that happened. And he's been saying in the lead up to that game that he'd been creating chances. All he needed was one to go in, and then a bunch will follow. And hopefully that's true because they're going to need Pulisic. They're going to need Balogun, maybe Ricardo Pepi off the bench, or who knows, maybe he'll get the start. I think he's been really pushing for Balogun is the number one, clearly, I think. But we have three strikers in form. I think that one of the big questions against Paraguay will be when they have those chances, can those players I mentioned, or maybe someone else, maybe like a Serginho Dest, will they put away those chances? And then if they don't, I'm nervous slightly about the counter attack because I think that's a point of a phase of the game where they've been really vulnerable. I think that defensively the US isn't as strong. There's a lot of weak points there. And so I think, they'll need those players like Balogun or Pulisic to really finish the opportunities they do create, which we saw progress against Senegal on that front. But then defensively on the US's end, I think they're really vulnerable there. And I think Paraguay could punish them if they don't finish their chances and then are weak in the response.
Yeah, no, that was definitely one thing. What is one thing that does concern you about this US team heading into this game and also for the entire group stage? Because I think also, as much as a lot of people are hoping that the US do well, this is not a perfect team. It's not among the world's elite. But having said that, what is something that does concern you from this US team? I think, questions have been about, roster selection, the way Pochettino has formatted this team and whatnot. Obviously, injuries have played a factor as well, but what could be one concern that you can go into, not just this game against Paraguay, but also the whole tournament for the US that could end up badly? And then some good things too. You got to mention that as well.
Yeah, I think that as you mentioned, in terms of the roster construction, you can kind of see what Pochettino was after, and he talked a little bit about how he has a lot of players on this team that can be moved around into maybe the not first choice position that they would tell you is their favorite spot. But I think definitely, beyond Tyler Adams, there's not a defensive midfielder that you feel incredible about heading into the tournament. So I think that the midfield there is potentially a concern. I think the center backs are a concern. Tim Ream is an incredible leader. I think he was the right choice for the captaincy, but isn't in his prime anymore. And then Chris Richards, who is the team's best center back by far, clearly has been training separately. I think has yet to fully train with the team, is nursing an injury. So yeah, massive concerns with the center backs specifically. And then behind them in goal, I presume Matt Freese is the number one. I expect that he'll start against Germany. Matt Turner and Chris Brady traded halves against Senegal. But yeah, there's questions in terms of who really is the starting goalkeeper and then how solid they'll be if the center backs make a mistake. So I think the defensive center backs and goalkeeper are the biggest concerns of the team, for sure.
There is going to be a lot of expectation for this game. Obviously, the game is going to be played at 9 Eastern time, 6 p.m. local time, 10 p.m. in Paraguay. Fed, it's going to be also over there, Friday night. It could be a big celebration if things go well. We'll see what happens in the US if the results go. But nevertheless, Megan, thank you again for coming on. But I do have to ask you one more thing to put you on the spot. Obviously, we saw the US beat the Paraguay in a lot of these games on American soil. The last time Paraguay beat the US overall and also on American soil was in 2011. It was a friendly in Nashville. Oscar Cardoso scored the winning goal. But ever since then, there have been some friendlies. A Copa America, I had the fortune of going there in Philadelphia, USA beating them 1-0. It's always been hard for Paraguay to win in the US, let alone against the US. It's always been hard to do so. I think the last time they won any competitive game was the '07 Copa America, but that was in Venezuela. So, that was on South American territory. But a World Cup is a different story. That's a whole different thing. Obviously, the US will feel optimistic of playing on home soil. We'll see how the fan base is going to be like, but strictly on a sporting perspective, how do you see this game happening at SoFi next Friday at the time of recording between the US and Paraguay?
I think it'll be an imperfect performance, but I do expect them to come out on the front foot. I think having the opening game on home soil, they'll have a little bit of a boost behind them. They've had time to prepare. They've played Paraguay recently. I think this will get the win. I think that every single game of this group could go either way for any team. I think Group D is so interesting on that front, truly. So if the US lose, if it's a draw, I wouldn't be surprised. But because it's the opening game, because it's on home soil, I think that the US is going to get the win, but it'll be imperfect. So I'm going to say it's 2-1, and we're nervous the whole time.
Just like it was in Chester a few months ago as well. No, I mean, look, I think it's certainly something that a lot of people feel, like we had talked beforehand with Turkey, that a lot of these players in Paraguay had not had the experience of playing in a World Cup. The US have. There's been a lot of players who played 4 years ago in Qatar, so that's going to play a big role. But no, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be really fun. Maybe for me, a bit more emotional because it's the US and Paraguay. So it's one to obviously look out for next Friday and for a lot of people. But Megan, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it. And before we let you go, where can everyone find your work, especially during this World Cup and of course after?
Yeah, you can find me. I post my work on social media. I'm at Meg_Swanick on X and on Blue Sky. And I've got a Substack. You can look me up at swandive.substack.com.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for coming on. And thank you for everyone listening in on this US World Cup preview with myself, Roberto Rojas, Fede Perez, and Megan. Thank you so much for listening in. See you soon.